Hello everyone. We are here with the iconic MPV. Hello sir, how are you?
Hi Himakanth, nice meeting you.
Same here sir, pleasure meeting you. So my first question, very straightforward. Where do you get all the energy from?
What is this question, Himakanth? Okay, not surprising, but few people have asked me in the past. I enjoy what I do, and that's where I get all my energy from.
Sir, my understanding of energy is when you're involving in too many aspects, you get to deviate from focus. So when I look at you, whatever you pick up, you're always focused, the quality is always shown. So how do you juggle between different things?
I've been trained right from my first job in multitasking, but when I do a particular task, I focus only on the task. For example, if I'm in a particular meeting, I don't even look at my mobile. So that's how I bring all my focus into the work. And I believe that if you can get the first time right, then you are avoiding doing repeatedly, and that gives you additional time to do something else. So that's how I managed my life.
So get it right the first time itself. So that's a simple secret sutra. So now moving on to Central Council. So can you just briefly tell us how did CCM help you as a platform to contribute to the fraternity?
Now, I have actually had a career in the industry. I've been in practice and I've also been an academician. It has always been in my mind as to how does a regulator look at things. And as a regulator, I've always seen that regulators need to enable growth. So I wanted to have a stint in a regulatory body which will help me to contribute towards the accelerated growth. And I thought that the country benefited from the information technology profession growth last 20 years. And I believe the next 20 years belongs to the accounting and consultancy services. And the chartered account is the best place for that. And I thought I could draw all of my experience and bring it into the regulatory aspects to fuel growth for the accounting profession. So that's what made me come into the Institute Council. So that's my...
So thanks for the answer, sir. Now, are there any specific challenges which you faced as Central Council member?
No, not really. But the first few months, I needed to have a different approach towards understanding how a regulator would look at. All along, it's been a case of looking at law as a preparer or as an auditor. But when you look at a regulator, you need to look at multiple possible scenarios of how people would look at the law. So that was an interesting experience. So that was the only different one. And also important is in the council, we have people coming from different backgrounds. Everybody is highly professional. They have their own experience, vision. So ensuring that we are able to find common point for the vision and ensuring those common points are executed. That's a very interesting experience. I don't want to call it challenge, but it's a very interesting experience. You know, the ability to carry diversity. In fact, most of us love our country for the diversity. The council is also a very diverse place, and that diversity is what makes council interesting.
So one thing I like in particular about you is I never heard anything negative from you. So is it just that you're extremely lucky, or are you highly optimistic?
No, I think it's both, Himakanth. I think I've been lucky in my career right through. I think I've always had well-wishers who have backed me, guided me right through. And also that I've been an optimist right through, because I believe that being a pessimistic doesn't take you anywhere. So as an optimist, it gives you lots of energy. In fact, going to your first question, where do you get energy from? The energy comes from the optimism and the fact that you can go and achieve it. So that's it.
So important liner, energy comes from your optimism, so be optimistic. So now, basically, if you look at the last 10 years or last 15 years, most of the chartered accountants are confining themselves in traditional financial roles. But in the last 2 to 3 years, the youngsters, the current generation, are slightly transgressing, or probably picking up an MBA from a good B school and moving on to CEO roles. So for somebody who want to be a CEO, not just a CFO, so what would be your advice?
Himakanth, well, business school is always a good addition. I've always believed that chartered accountancy course by itself prepares people to be an entrepreneur and a CEO.
Yes.
Probably in a professional organization, to be a CEO, a business school actually helps. But ultimately, at that role, it's actually the entrepreneurial spirit In fact, I was chatting with a common friend whom I met after a long time, and he's a hardcore engineer. He was saying that his experience of seeing engineers and chartered accountants was that right from the education, the chartered accountants course makes you to do a self-study. Your articleship is with an entrepreneur, and you have seen businesses right through your articleship of 3 years at a young age of 19, 20, 21. So it's that entrepreneurial traits which you have built up at an early age, which actually puts chartered accountants to be a very successful CEO and an entrepreneur. Business school, of course, does help when you run large organizations. And I think good number of young chartered accountants are picking up business school experience too.
So you're saying the curriculum has enough factors for somebody to become a CEO?
It's been right through.
Yes, sir.
Right through the entire history of the chartered accountants profession.
So now I believe it's the time for startups in India. It has been a decade ago for US, or maybe more than that. But even ICAI has recently conducted some startup centers even at Mumbai. So if somebody wants to set up a startup, and how would you advise a chartered accountant, because it is something new to us, especially for a core accountant? We do not have the technical knowledge in terms of websites and all. So what would be your advice?
Startups need not necessarily require technical knowledge. Startups need not necessarily be in the IT industry. It can be across industries. Startup is all about understanding or identifying a need.
Yes.
You need to identify the need. And once you identify the need, the ability to productize that and address that need is what it matters. I'll give a very simple example. If you take the case of Swiggy, it didn't exist 2 years back.
Yes.
And it's there all over now. It's all over there, and others have also come up. So somebody has identified that space. That was an unaddressed space. There was a need there, and you address it. So startups, if you look at historically, every startup which has been successful is because they have been able to identify an unaddressed need, and they have productized it well. That's the secret in my view. So I don't think one needs to be a software engineer or an IT capable person. As long as you have that entrepreneurial trait of understanding the need and put all of your energy behind addressing the need, you get it right.
Sir, I'm choosing slightly to contradict your stand. For example, we already had Dabbawala a couple of decades ago. But the reason why Dabbawala is not as popular as Swiggy, in a different term, in terms of volumes, I would say, is because of the missing tech platform. Because even personally, I feel that tech is a missing puzzle.
Actually, if you look at Swiggy, it's more about scale.
Yes,
what
sir.
technology gives you scale.
Scalability, yes.
The point I was trying is, as far as a startup is concerned,
Yes, sir.
I need not have the technical skills of a software writing
Yes,
or the
yes.
IT background. As long as I have an idea, I can always bring in people who have those capabilities and inspire that team to do it.
Yes.
That's what I was addressing about.
So I'm getting the question now, sir. So basically, what is ICAI is doing for chartered accountants in terms of this? Is there any support from institutional side in terms of technological aspects or incubation?
Okay, let's understand that ICAI is a regulator of an accounting profession. I don't think we should bring ICAI to a role of an association which helps create professional opportunities. In fact, that will not be a healthy sign.
Yes, sir.
Having said that, as a regulator, you always have an interest in developing the profession, creating opportunities so that the profession grows.
Yes, sir.
In that context, ICAI is engaged towards building competencies right from the student days in terms of giving hands-on IT knowledge. In fact, we are the probably only accounting course in the world where we give hands-on IT experience through laboratories during your study days. And as part of the membership activities, we have a board called Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, where we are focused on building competencies in the era of digitalization, which includes exposing people to what's blockchain about, robotic process automation, what artificial intelligence means, use of IT audit tools. So all of that institute has been doing more for creating awareness and competency development. And I think we could do a little more of that so that competency is built. I don't think we should look at ICAI creating funding options. I don't think we should get there. That will not be a healthy sign.
Fair enough, sir. So now, One question which always bothered me is when you're working too much or when you have some ambitious targets, your personal life always takes a hit because everybody has a 24-hour timetable. People say work-life balance exists, but somehow when you're on the go, when you're pushing yourself hard, I think there is a mismatch or a little imbalance. So, what's your take on that?
In my case, I'll be very candid. I've not been able to do a good work-life balance. I'll be very candid. Particularly, there are many people who actually have been in touch with me, and I should admit I have not been very successful in that, even though I have a very positive intent towards bringing that. But having said that, I have seen a lot of my peer group who are very successful in their careers, but have been able to achieve a work-life balance. Hats off to them, and that's a learning I have to take. Of course, I know I'm almost in the eve of my career, but I would still like to see if I could achieve that at some point in time. It has always eluded me. But having said that, I've always had this principle that one generation in every family needs to go and stretch all out and create a platform wherein all the subsequent generations can benefit. That's how nations have been built, and a nation is made up of many micro units of families. Hopefully my children will understand, family will understand, and probably not ignore me.
Sir, so finally I just want to understand, so far you have done whatever you could, and we are very happy with the progress which you have shown, and both from the members, even students and everybody, because your work is getting noticed all across. Now moving on to the next election, so what are your plans? I would say, what are your top 3 plans for your agenda or manifesto?
I'd like to continue whatever we have started off in the last council. There's an excellent vision document of the institute which was produced in 2012, which is Vision 2030. I would like to see the document being executed. There's a lot of work to be done in making institute a global brand. A lot of work has happened. Credit to all the people who have worked for it. I'd like to focus on institutionalizing all the work to be done. I would like, my past experience has been that irrespective of individuals, work should happen. So I'd like to see institutionalization happening at various levels and contribute to becoming a more effective regulator. I've always believed that if you have a good, effective regulation, professions grow faster. I equate this at a very simple level, like on a highway, if you have haphazard traffic, you can drive at 40-50. On a highway, if you have a lane discipline, you can drive at 100-120. So if you can regulate the profession, opportunities will be more and you can grow faster. I want to give the benefit of a good regulation for all the profession members, for them to explore the growth opportunities which will come.
So a very simple analogy which helped us understand the actual process, how the institute should go forward. So this is my last question, and నేను తెలుగులో అడుగుతున్నాను ఎందుకంటే ఇది దిస్ ఇస్ స్పెసిఫిక్ ఫర్ వైజాగ్. సో ఒక మెసేజ్ తెలుగులో కావాలి సార్ ఫర్ యువర్ ఆంధ్ర ఫ్యాన్స్, తెలంగాణ ఫ్యాన్స్ అండ్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్లీ వైజాగ్ ఫ్యాన్స్.
నేను ఇక్కడ చదువుకుందంతా వైజాగ్లోనే, 2 సంవత్సరాల మధ్యలో విజయవాడలో చదువుకున్నాను. I have enjoyed the kind of atmiyata which people have shown, whether during my study days or subsequently. I think I've enjoyed all of the happiness. Inta atmiyata ikkada naaku chaala dorikindi. I would like to continue to have that kind of friendship, and naaku chetananta varaku manchi chestanu. What I can commit is I will never let down people in terms of my sincerity of efforts or in my conduct. So I'll do my best. Sorry, I couldn't deliver fully in Telugu because over time, you've been used to. Of course, colloquially, I'm very good in Telugu, Tamil and all, but when it comes to formal communication, I have a little limitation. I hope you'll understand.
Yes, sir. That means a lot to all the Androids, sir.
In fact, I can read and write Telugu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, so last thing,
Previous one was the last.
That's in Telugu, sir. This is the last thing in English. So, for practicing chartered accountants, 3 quick tips, sir, who are trying to enter into the space, because there has been a dip in the number of people coming into practice.
I would like many people to explore practice.
Yes, sir.
Second is the country is moving from $3 trillion to a $5 trillion economy. Lots of opportunities in practice.
Yes.
And the youngsters are best suited for embracing technology.
Yes.
The whole practice will be with technology, and youngsters are best suited for that. Only request is practice is a long haul game. I dividing practice into slots of 8 years. The first 8 years is no work, no income.
Yes.
Next 8 years is work and no income. The third 8 years is work with income. The fourth 8 years is less work and more income. So that's how practice get built. So it's a long haul.
Yes.
And as long as the people can have that perseverance, practice is always very rewarding. So I would request people to strongly explore getting into practice, and also preferably look at doing practice in team rather than as sole proprietorship. Start learning the culture of working with teams of 4-5 people, then with 8-10 people, and collectively the growth opportunity will be much bigger. I see a lot of professional opportunities in practice, and I would encourage all youngsters to seriously explore practice.
So, thanks a lot for your time, sir. Once again, pleasure meeting you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.